Hi everyone, Catalan Ben here and welcome to my team of the season. I'm going to be bringing you the best 11 players from the 2020 season in the Premier League, and I want you guys to let me know if you think I got it right. Let's do it. Okay guys, so we'll get straight into it with the goalkeeper. Now, Alisson is one of my favourite goalkeepers in the world right now, and I also think he's probably in the top 3, if not the top 2 goalkeepers that are playing at the moment. But he's only played 20 games this season due to injuries, so I didn't feel it was fair to include him over some of the other guys that have played a lot more matches. So the goalkeeper in my team of the year is going to be Dean Henderson. The Sheffield United goalkeeper has been incredible this season. The way he plays the ball out from the back, his shot stopping and reactions, the way that he claims crosses, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. He's a really good young talent, and I think he's one for the future. He's probably going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world in the next few years. He's had a fantastic season, as have Sheffield United, and I think the great success his team have had is based on how great he's been. So number 1 is Dean Henderson. Okay, so now we move on to defenders. So we've got a back 4 to choose, and I'm going to go for left back first. So the best left back in the league at the moment, there's been a couple of really good left backs this season. I think Luca Digne for Everton has been fantastic. It's no surprise really, coming from Barcelona, how fantastic a talent he is, but also I think he's really added to the attacking prowess of Everton, as well as being a good defensive player as well. So he's been great this season. But I don't think you can really look past Andrew Robertson at the moment. Andy Robertson for Liverpool is one of the best attacking fullbacks. I think he's improved his defensive game as well, and he's not just a one-trick pony now who can only go forward. He matches Trent Alexander-Arnold for how many assists and chances he creates as well. He's a fantastic fullback, and I don't think he can look much further. I think it's incredible to say that only a few years ago, Andy Robertson was playing for Hull with Harry Maguire, and now they're two of the best defenders in the league. So I'm going to go for Andy Robertson for my left back. Okay, so now we're going to go across to my right back. Now, there's been some great performances again from right backs this season. Kyle Walker especially has really stood out. I think he's played 21 matches this season and been incredible in all of them. He's so consistent and really offers an attacking prowess, but also strength of his game as a defender too. So he's been great, but he just missed out because of the creativity of Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I don't think anybody can really argue with just how productive Alexander-Arnold has been. He's constantly putting balls in the box, he's creating chances, and he's offered that attacking threat. And there are a lot of question marks over whether he could actually play as a defender and whether he was good enough as a right back. I think he's silenced some of his critics recently really well. He's put in some better defensive performances, but he's not lost that great attacking threat as well. So Trent is going to be the opposite fullback on that right hand side. Okay, so now we look at the centre-back pairing. Now, centre-backs aren't easy to find, and great centre-backs can be the difference between a team that wins the Champions League and a team that can't even get into the Champions League. Centre-backs are really, really important and play a vital role for their teams. But who made it into my final 2? So my first one is going to be Man United centre-back Harry Maguire. Now, I mentioned earlier that he was playing for Hull not even that long ago. He then went to Leicester, put in some incredible performances, helped Leicester win the title, and now I actually think he's one of the best players in that Man United squad as well. There was a lot of question marks over Harry Maguire because of the price tag that was paid for him, but let's be honest, he's probably going to be in the next 5 years the main English centre-back that's going to be representing his country and bringing those great performances that he brings to Man United into his England shirt as well. So Harry Maguire, I think he fully deserves it. He's a fantastic player, he's shown the right attributes, and despite all the pressure that was put on him because of that big price tag, he's lived up to expectations and he's been absolutely great this season. So he's got to be my number 1 centre-back. So then we go to centre-back number 2. Now, I don't think he can look much further than the big man himself, Virgil van Dijk. I think everybody was probably expecting any team of the season that you see from anyone this year is probably going to have Virgil in there. He's been incredible. Again, he's been consistent. He's not been quite as good passing the ball out from the back as he was last season. He's made a few more mistakes and there's been a few more passes that have gone away. But I think he's been a bit more adventurous, he's increased his attacking play, he's been really good attacking from corners as well, and I think as an all-round player and as a leader, he just embodies everything you would want in your centre-back. He's absolutely unbelievable. So, number 2 has to go to Virgil van Dijk. So that gives you my back 4. We've got Andrew Robertson at left back, we've got Van Dijk and Maguire in the middle, and then Trent at right back. I promise I've tried not to flood this with too many Liverpool players. Okay, so now we move into the midfield. Now, my first midfielder that I've chosen, I'm going to go for a typical central midfielder. He's a little bit more of an attacker. I was in a bit of a toss-up between N'Golo Kante, who is consistent, he's fast, he's strong, he's a good performer, but plays quite a defensive role for his team and doesn't get forward that much. And then a really creative player in Kevin De Bruyne. And I couldn't decide between the two for quite a while, but in the end I had to go with De Bruyne based on the number of goals that he contributes towards. And I think nobody can take anything away from N'Golo Kante and how fantastic a player he is, but De Bruyne for me, because of the creativity, the number of chances he creates for his teammates and the number of assists that he's racked up this season, he is probably outright the best midfielder in the world right now. So KDB has to go in there. And then who's going to play alongside him? So my opposite central midfielder, I'm really sorry I've had to go for another Liverpool player. I think captaining a Champions League winning side that have then gone on to run away with the title so far this season, Jordan Henderson's been unbelievable. And he had his critics. I was one of them when he first signed for Liverpool, because I thought, how is he going to be anywhere near the player that Steven Gerrard was? Now, Steven Gerrard will always be a legend at Liverpool. He'll always be a legend in the Premier League, and maybe less so, but a little bit for England too. Jordan Henderson has been unbelievably good to take over that mantle, to put the captain's armband on that was worn by one of the best players to ever play for the club, and to then take that over and win a Champions League, potentially going to be a title winner, pushed Man City last season all the way to the wire. I think Henderson's been a real leader for Liverpool, and I think the stuff that Klopp says on the touchline only takes you so far. There has to be that man on the pitch, in the middle of the midfield, commanding his teammates to do the right things and reinforce those managers' messages. I don't think anybody has done that better this season than Jordan Henderson. So he's going to go alongside Kevin De Bruyne in my midfield. Now next up, I've gone for a more attacking midfielder. So in my shape, I'm going for 2 central midfielders and 1 cam just playing ahead of them. Attacking midfielders, there's been some fantastic ones this season. Attacking players like Bernardo Silva and David Silva at Manchester City. Jack Grealish has had a fantastic season for Villa. And Aston Villa might actually go down this season, but that's not really Grealish's fault. I think he's done the absolute best he can in the team that he's in, and he's really shown a lot of promise. But for me, one of the most exciting players, and I've tried to pick these players based on the excitement when I watch them, I think James Maddison has been absolutely unbelievable. He's one of those players where every time he gets the ball, you feel like something's going to happen, whether it's a chance or a goal or something's going to be created when James Maddison gets possession of it. I think his teammates look for him a lot, and that shows how good a player is when as soon as a team get the ball, the first player they try and find is usually the one who they feel can influence the game the most. And James Maddison has been so influential for his team this season. I know that Brendan Rodgers has been absolutely blessed to have him and really thinks highly of him. So he has to be my centre attacking midfielder for my team of the year. He's got to go to James Maddison. Alright, now the front 3. Now, I'm just going to remind you here that this is all about excitement and the players that really stand out for me. I was looking at the front right attacking player, so the player that usually plays in like a Mo Salah or a Lionel Messi type position. I was going to go for Mo Salah, but I actually think his consistency and his performances have dropped this season. So he's not by any means being bad, he's just not hit the levels that he hit in the last 2 seasons with Liverpool. He's been a great contributor to goals and assists, but I do think that he's maybe just taken his foot off the gas a little bit compared to how good he was in previous seasons. So Mo Salah did just miss out in that position. There's also been some fantastic players. Bernardo Silva's played there a little bit for his team. Aubameyang has sometimes played in that position. He's kind of played all across the front line, Aubameyang for Arsenal. But I think for that forward attacking player on the right-hand side, the most exciting one to watch. Exciting is maybe the wrong word when he was playing against Liverpool, because he terrified me. A player who was terrifying to watch and had to get my right winger position in this team is Adama Traore. So Traore, again, comes from Barcelona, like I mentioned with Luca Digne. They really know how to train their players to be technically excellent. But his speed, his power, his aggression, the pace he has on the ball, the quality of his deliveries and his shooting, I think he's been unbelievably good. And to be doing that in a team that's not flying at the top of the league is a lot harder. So it's easier for a player like Salah to be successful when his team have so much of the ball, when they create so many chances. But for Adama Traore to be playing at Wolves where they don't get that same number of chances and number of opportunities to create and to score goals, I think Traore has been absolutely unbelievable. He's been a breath of fresh air, and I can't remember the last time that Liverpool played against someone and I was that scared of how good he was. Adama Traore ran our defence ragged. He was absolutely unbelievable, and I think as a young man who's got a lot of potential, he deserves to be in that team of the year. Okay, so then we go across to the opposite side to the left winger. Now again, Aubameyang could have been in there, been very good this season. again, when you think about these players and you're talking about the excitement that they bring, I think it's got to be a player who creates goals, who scores goals, who's got a bit of flair and skill and things like that. The kind of player that Eden Hazard used to be to watch for Chelsea. The kind of guy where he gets the ball, you're wondering whether something might happen, whether a goal might be scored, whether a chance might be created. For probably consistency and for taking over what was a very, very difficult job, I've had to go here for Sadio Mane. Now, Mane's been unbelievably good for the past 2 or 3 seasons, but everybody was worried that when Salah hit his peak and was absolutely incredible, that when he came back down, whether Liverpool would manage to score as many goals. Now, we all know that Bobby Firmino doesn't really score goals for Liverpool, so there was a bit of a head scratch from Liverpool players, would they have to buy someone? Would Salah be able to maintain those levels and just keep being fantastically consistent all that time? Or would Mane step up? And now there is absolutely no question. Sadio Mane has gone from being probably the least attacking and least influential player in that front three to probably the most influential. He's unbelievably talented, but he's also really consistent. He keeps a level head. And he used to be criticised for the number of chances he missed. He's stopped missing those chances quite as much now. He's putting the ball in the back of the net more, and he's scored crucial goals. Not just goals where you were already winning 3 or 4-0, but the kind of goals that your team really needs because it gets you a 1-0 or it gets you a draw, and it's maintained that undefeated streak that Liverpool had for so long because of the number of crucial goals that Mane scored. So he's got to be my left winger in this team. He's been unbelievably good, and I think he will be again next season. So Sadio Mane is going in there. And then we move on to the striker, the number 9, the guy who is supposed to be the best player in the team. This guy for me is unbelievable, but I'm going to go through a few different players that I was thinking of picking before I went for my final choice. Harry Kane has been fantastic every single time I've seen him play. He's just been plagued by injuries this season, and it's so unfortunate to see a promising young English striker who's fantastically good, who's scoring loads of goals, full of confidence, and then you see injuries hit his game, and it really, really affects how many goals he can score, how often he can play, when he does get back in the team, how many games it's going to be before he's back out. It's horrible to watch. So hopefully Harry Kane is back fighting fit as soon as possible. Tottenham have definitely missed him this season. Jamie Vardy, another English striker, maybe lacked a little bit of consistency compared to what we were used to when he was scoring in every goal, every game for 10 or 11 in a row. But Vardy, again, you can't knock him for his work rate. Brendan Rodgers has done a great job honing him a little bit and stopping him running all over the pitch and actually getting him to just concentrate on staying between the sticks, to score more goals, to create more chances down the middle, and he's done a great job at that. But I think for Mr. Consistency, for this season as well as every other season, for vital goals that his team needed, for goals that out of absolutely nothing, for hat-tricks and every other type of goal you could think of, Sergio Aguero, I don't think there's anybody right now who's better than him in world football as a standout number 9. He does probably one of the hardest jobs on the pitch. He's also very small for a player of his athletic profile. You'd usually look at like a Harry Kane, a big tall centre-back, Andy Carroll, big tall centre-forward, that kind of guy. Not centre-back, sorry, centre-forward. But Sergio Aguero doesn't fit that mould. He's small, he's slight, he's very powerful for a player who's as small as he is. He gets goals from all positions. He scores from inside and outside the box. He can score free kicks. He can score penalties. He'll even score with his head. He's consistent to a T. He scores with both feet. I don't think there is a goal that I haven't seen Aguero score. So Aguero has to be my number 9 in this squad, my centre forward. He's been incredible for several seasons, but this season, again, has probably been the best forward in the league. And then the manager. Now, this is a tough one for me because Sheffield United have got a great team and a great manager, and Leicester have got a great team and a great manager. And I think sometimes it does a bit of a disservice when you see a team like Liverpool run away with the title and get really far ahead. It kind of makes everybody else look bad, as if the other managers aren't doing a great job. Brendan Rodgers and the way that he's pulled Leicester from a team that were really struggling when they were taken over by Ranieri, and they had all the problems in the past after they won the title, and you wondered whether Leicester would ever get near those heights again. The way that Rodgers has turned that team around has been unbelievable. Guardiola for his consistency, and I know he's spent a lot of money, but the way that he gets performance after performance out of his players, the way that he's turned around players like Raheem Sterling, who was struggling for consistency and form, and turned him into a world-beating player, another player who nearly made it into this team. I think Guardiola's done an incredible job too. And I think Pochettino at the time was incredible for Spurs, and then he lost his way a little bit. There was a few problems behind the scenes there, and then Pochettino ended up losing the job, which was a real shame there, but again, a really, really good manager. But at this moment in time, I don't think you can really argue and look much further than Jurgen Klopp. To turn Liverpool from the team that he took over to the team that they are now is an incredible change, an incredible turnaround. It's almost a magic trick. Then to get the levels of consistency out of the players that he does. Then to turn around young players that have come into the team and maybe struggled a little bit or could have struggled if they hadn't been looked after in the right way. Players like Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, who've been incredibly good. But that doesn't come from nothing. That comes from a manager who knows how to work with these players and to shape players into be the best that they can be and reach their potential. And then you look at the way that he's managed egos. You look at a player as good as Mo Salah or Sadio Mane or Virgil van Dijk, and those players can't be easy to manage. You've seen in the past where players like Paul Pogba, if you've got an ego, it's not always easy for a manager to control that and keep that ego channeled and focused in the right way. The way that Klopp has created a team and a machine out of his players, I think has been absolutely incredible. It's a shame to not see them see out the season. I really hope that we do get to see the end of the football season for this year, to see Liverpool go on and win the title. That would be fantastic, you know, to do it in the way that they've done. But I think whether they're given that trophy in their hand or not, I don't think anybody can argue that this has been one of the best seasons we've seen from a team. And probably will be one of the best Premier League seasons ever. It's just been masked in a bit of controversy. So for my manager, I'm going to go for Jurgen Klopp, but again, there could have been 4 or 5 guys in there. There's been some fantastic achievements from managers overperforming with their teams or just getting high levels of consistency out and keeping their teams week in, week out playing great football. So there you have it, guys. I'm not going to rabbit on too much longer. There is my team of the season. Let me know if you agreed with it. You know, the goalkeeper, some people might throw a few different people in there. The centre-backs, do you think Harry Maguire is good enough to be in there? Let me know. Is there too many Liverpool players in my team? I'm a Liverpool fan, but I've tried to be fairly honest and pick the players that I think are the most exciting to watch and the best in their position. But let me know, guys. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me if you disagree with me. Tell me if I got it right. I'd love to know it either way. Leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done already. And as always, guys, I will see you next time. Take it easy.